Hello and welcome to another Battleforge PvP video. Today I am playing against Stiglitz on Terraiva, which is one of the community maps, so not a part of the official ranked pool. So we're seeing Shadow against Fire again. It is going to be the same matchup as on the game on Urmia, but with like a different outcome, I would say. So I still think it was an interesting match, and that's why I'm going to upload it. So yeah, I waited for the Shadow player to make his first move and pick up a power well. I never want to pick up a well as Fire first, because especially on this map where there's a lot of open ground and I cannot work this well with eruptions, I don't want to well up first due to the early strength of a second. So second Sunstriders, and it's important to keep up a split against Nasty Surprise. Because this can be very effective early on, and I think now you can see why. It insta-kills to these Sunstriders, the same Scavenger gets knocked back, so it dies too. So super effective Nasty. I really messed up my split here. I was kind of confident that it was good enough, but I kind of did not micro my units, maybe this one outside of the range, because everything was kind of split apart, but I didn't move my units accordingly. So a very nice punish here, using this 50 power advantage by just moving forward and aggressively frenzying the Forsaken with an immediate belt focus. And even though I get all of this Forsaken down, which is like worth 200 power for me or something, I lose the power well, and that is a very big disadvantage for me. Yeah, really bad position for me to be in. Yes, I do have a tempo lead, so I either have to attack with Sundra or pick up a power by myself to just kind of sort of try to stay even in economy. I decided to take a power. I'm not sure if this was the correct choice. Attacking with a Sundra would be an option here because I had a certain tempo lead, but on this low power level it might be really hard to really succeed, and there's a lot of space between my power well and his, so it's kind of hard to trade with units, then retreat with a Sundra, and then attack again to get good trades off when I'm down on power well, because it just takes too much time. He will generate more power due to the extra income that he has. So I decided to well up again and yeah, try to position a little aggressively, because he just lost a lot of units and it takes a while to regain this into the actual power pool. But yeah, Stiglitz decides to go to tier 2 and then trade into my units, so he tries to at least get an even trade off, but in the end this trade was actually good for me, because for one eruption I think in one unit or maybe 1.5, I'm not sure if this one dies. This frenzy was a bad decision, by the way. He lost DPS due to it. Yeah, he gets a unit down, but still this trade is decent for me and allows me to kind of pressure a little bit and take up another power on the top, even though I'm still behind. If your opponent goes tier 2 first and you don't have the power to respond to that, you kind of have the option of picking up a power, an extra power, and then defend this tier 1 versus tier 2 scenario, because Fire tier 1 is actually quite good at that, because you have the Scavenger that can slow units, and the Sunstriders that deal decent DPS to like Stormstinger, Nightcrawler, and if you play something like Lost Reaver, you can always go back and play Firestorm. So a lot of units being played here. I'm still in a very dangerous situation, because still, even though Fire has some tools to deal with tier 2, these units are more power effective than mine, and I lost the power at tier 1, which is really huge. So yeah, trading with these Dark of Assassins, getting actually a decent trade off here, and already playing a Scavenger to potentially slow down these units if it's possible. So I want to bring these Sunstriders here into the position to deal damage to these units, since I want my M counters close by. And I decide to take tier 2 in the center. Yeah, this basically allows me to freely contest something like tier 3 later on, since Stiglitz just sort of controls this side of the map. If he takes tier 3 later on in this game over here, and I have no chance of getting tier 3 by myself, it would be bad to lose control over the middle early on. So I kind of take it by now. So Dark of Assassin still trading kind of well, and now both of us are in tier 2. and Stiglitz decides to well up again. As you can see, he's at a lot of power, and now he actually gets a close world position where souls can actually do quite well when it comes down to attacking Fire Nature, because they cannot use the chain CC defense due to the 2 possible attack areas here for souls. Yeah, I try to stay even in welds and get to like 5 to 6 power welds, because if I can like maintain this position for like 3 or 4 minutes or something, I will have enough power to set up my attacks. So this Borrower walks away again to not get picked up by the Storm Singers, and there comes the Lost Reaver, and I actually have 50 power, so I don't have a lot of tools to deal with this one. So still a lot of stuff happening. So this Borrower died, which is also good micro trade on the other side here, and with the Reaver applying a lot of pressure, I'm in a pretty bad spot, because I want an L counter, which is either Firesworn or Gladiatrix. I decided a Firesworn in this case because I think it's good into a melee unit, but now he can use his remaining M counters here and the Frostbite to pick off the Firesworn, and there's no way to retreat. Even if like maybe a root would have helped, but then it would be not available for the Lost Reaver, and that's also a bad choice, because then you can reach the power well and use Life Weaving. So very nice micromanagement here to secure this position and sort of extend the advantage. And I'm super low on power, so yeah, this Reaver gets Life Weaved now, and I don't have the power to disenchant. I try to kind of change CC. I think I should switch with the orb, yeah. I'm not sure if it does this on purpose or if I have to click onto this, but I cannot get another root off, and now I want to time the overload, I think, up until this Life Weaving runs out, and I'm not sure if it was mistimed, but anyways, the well dropped. It just doesn't save the power, and yeah, another split attack from the Nightcrawlers. This is just a very smart idea of spawning, forcing me to spawn units, especially when I'm behind. It is very difficult to deal with all these cheap units, since Fire Nature has to spend like 70 power at minimum for the Ghost Spears here, and like Side Fiends are more expensive, Skyfire is more expensive. There's nothing that really can rival these 60-50 power units that Souls has. So right now we're seeing Skyfire dealing with these Dark of Assassins on the side. These Ghost Spears are retreating, and yeah, split Lost Reaver attacks, trying to apply pressure and also always protecting his large units with Storm Singers and Dark of Assassins, so I cannot just directly try to focus them with the like Firesworn or something. So the Lansdang roots here to prevent this Reaver from getting too close to the power well, and the Storm Singer immediately zones my Firesworn that was supposed to counter the other Lost Reaver on the side. So he always just tries to go for my counter units and gets rid of them with this combination of Storm Singer and Lost Reaver, and this is just very well executed. This is actually how we want to attack in this matchup. So this Cold Snap actually hits both Skyfire Drakes. I don't think that should happen. They should have been positioned a little better, or at least they could have dodged with at least one of them. And now this well drops, and he immediately spawns another Nightcrawler here, so he can, if he decides to do it, he can move his units and just go up here once the Skyfire is down. But yeah, he chases down this one. And tries to save this Nightcrawler. He actually makes it out, and he kills the Skyfire. So this was actually worth it, since this guy survived, and he lost like maybe this one was not super effective. I think he could have turned, but you're still fine in terms of this position here. The difference in economy is just so good right now for him. It's 5 welds against 3, and Fire Nature does just not work well on 3 power welds. You always want to have like 4 to 6, maybe like 7 or 8 in tier 2 is better, but then the game might go to tier 3, so that's something you need to consider. And yeah, then another double freeze here, and I think I was typing GG, so I didn't dodge this one. At least I have an excuse for that. But yeah, that's the game, and I think this is a very beautiful way of playing out the Shadow Frost matchup into Fire Nature, because the idea of sort of snowballing this early attack by getting a good nasty with immediate Forsaken spam to get the power down early on where it can work, to just try to get this close well position in tier 2 and do this split attack onto the orbs by kind of supporting the Lost Reaver, your L unit, with Storm Singers to pick off the direct counter units that I try to play in order to get rid of his stuff. And also, like, if he plays Nightcrawlers, I have to respond with Ghost Spear, so he can play Dark Elf Assassins and all that stuff, and then Kite with Frostbite and all that stuff. So very, very well played by him. And yeah, I think a very, very good idea. I think this gives a good idea on how to play this matchup when using Lost Souls with a Lost Reaver deck into Fire Nature. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.